Have you ever seen a place so surreal that you had to double-check if the photo was edited? Today we're counting down 15 incredible locations on Earth that look like they belong on another planet. Before we start this mind-blowing journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our amazing content. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming. Let's dive in. The Zhangai Dangxia landform in China looks like someone spilled a massive paint palette across the mountains. These rainbow-colored rock formations stretch across the landscape in waves of red, orange, yellow, and even turquoise. The vibrant stripes were created over millions of years as layers of different colored sandstone and minerals were pressed together, then exposed by erosion. When sunlight hits these mountains at different angles throughout the day, the colors seem to shift and glow like they're lit from within. Walking through this geological wonderland feels like stepping into a psychedelic dream, and it's no wonder this place has become one of China's most photographed natural wonders. The locals call it the Rainbow Mountains, and once you see it in person, you'll understand that no camera can truly capture the overwhelming beauty of this kaleidoscopic landscape. Moving to Bolivia, we find the Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat spanning over 4,000 square miles. During the dry season, this endless expanse of white hexagonal salt patterns looks like an alien world made of tiles. But the real magic happens during the rainy season when a thin layer of water covers the surface, creating the world's largest natural mirror. The sky and clouds reflect perfectly on the ground, making it impossible to tell where Earth ends and heaven begins. Photographers flock here to capture surreal images where people appear to be walking on clouds or standing in the sky itself. At night, the reflection of the stars creates a 360-degree view of the cosmos that makes you feel like you're floating in space. This place doesn't just look unreal, it literally makes you question your sense of up and down, reality and reflection. Deep in the caves of New Zealand, the Waitomo glowworm caves transport visitors into what looks like an underground galaxy. Thousands of tiny glowworms cling to the cave ceiling, emitting a bioluminescent blue-green light that creates the illusion of a starry night sky beneath the Earth. As you drift silently through the dark caves on a boat, these living lights twinkle above you in complete silence. The glowworms are actually the larvae of a specific fly species found only in New Zealand, and their glow is a hunting technique to attract prey into sticky threads they hang down. The effect is so magical and otherworldly that many visitors report feeling emotional during their journey through these illuminated caverns. It's like discovering a secret universe that exists right beneath our feet, reminding us that Earth still holds mysteries that rival any science fiction movie. The door to hell in Turkmenistan is exactly what it sounds like, a blazing crater that has been burning continuously for over 50 years. This 70-meter-wide hole in the ground filled with flames was accidentally created by Soviet engineers in 1971, when a drilling rig collapsed into an underground cavern full of natural gas. Worried about poisonous gas spreading, they decided to light it on fire, thinking it would burn out in a few weeks. Half a century later, it's still burning day and night, creating an apocalyptic scene that glows orange against the desert darkness. Standing at the edge of this fiery pit, feeling the intense heat and hearing the roar of the flames, you truly feel like you're peering into another dimension. The local Turkmen people have named it the Gates of Hell, and when you see it blazing in the middle of the barren Karakum Desert at night, you'll understand why this man-made accident has become one of the most surreal sights on the planet. In Northern Ireland, the Giant's Causeway presents a geometric mystery that looks too perfect to be natural. About 40,000 interlocking basalt columns rise from the sea, most of them hexagonal and so precisely shaped they appear to be carved by ancient architects. These columns were actually formed around 60 million years ago when volcanic lava cooled and contracted, creating these remarkable polygonal structures. Legend says the Irish giant Finn MacCool built this causeway to reach Scotland and fight his rival, and when you see how impossibly organized these stones are, you might start to believe in giants yourself. Some columns are short, others tower overhead, and they fit together like a massive three-dimensional puzzle made by nature. The formation extends into the sea and reappears on the Scottish island of Staffa, which only adds to the mythical feeling. Walking across these stepping stones that seem designed by mathematics rather than geology makes you feel like you've entered a realm where the rules of nature work differently. Antarctica's Blood Falls sounds like something from a horror movie, but it's a real phenomenon that continues to baffle and fascinate scientists. A 5-story waterfall pours bright red liquid down the white face of Taylor Glacier, creating a shocking contrast that looks like the ice is bleeding. For years, scientists thought the red color came from algae, but we now know it's actually from ancient saltwater that's been trapped beneath the glacier for over a million years. This subterranean lake is incredibly rich in iron, and when the water finally breaks through the ice and makes contact with air, the iron oxidizes and turns blood red, just like rust. What makes this even more incredible is that scientists have found bacteria living in this isolated, oxygen-free, super salty environment beneath the ice. These microorganisms have been cut off from the rest of Earth's ecosystem for millennia, surviving in conditions that seem impossible for life, giving us clues about how life might exist on other planets. The Fly Geyser in Nevada is a rainbow-colored alien landscape that was accidentally created by humans in 1964. When an energy company drilled a test well, they hit geothermal water and didn't properly seal the well when they abandoned it. Over the decades, mineral-rich water has been continuously erupting from the ground, building up layers of calcium carbonate and creating surreal terraced mounds that now reach about 5 feet high. The constant stream of scalding water has also attracted thermophilic algae that thrive in the heat, painting the formations in brilliant shades of red, yellow, orange, and green. Multiple geysers now shoot water into the air from these technicolor mounds, surrounded by terraces and pools that look like something from a Dr. Seuss book. The best part is that this alien landscape is still growing and changing every single day as more minerals deposit and the formations expand. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unbelievable places on Earth are complete accidents created by the unexpected meeting of human activity and natural forces. Mount Roraima in South America is a massive flat-topped mountain that inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's novel The Lost World, and one look at it explains why. This tabletop mountain raises nearly 10,000 feet above the jungle, with sheer cliffs on all sides and a misty summit that's often hidden in clouds. The plateau on top is one of Earth's oldest geological formations, dating back 2 billion years, and it hosts unique plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth. Strange rock formations carved by millions of years of rain create an alien landscape up there, with formations that look like melting sculptures and crystal-clear pools of water tinted pink and orange by minerals. The summit is almost always shrouded in fog, giving the entire place an eerie primordial atmosphere. When you finally reach the top after days of hiking, you feel like you've time traveled to when Earth was young. Indigenous people of the region consider it a sacred place, the stump of a massive tree that once held all the world's fruits, and walking across that ancient plateau really does feel like stepping into a myth. In Ethiopia, the Danakil Depression is one of the hottest, most hostile, and most visually stunning places on our planet. This geological depression lies more than 400 feet below sea level and regularly sees temperatures above 50 degrees Celsius. What makes it look completely alien are the sulfur springs that create neon yellow and green pools, the salt formations that build white and orange crystalline structures, and the constantly active lava lake at Erta Ale volcano that glows red in the darkness. Walking through this landscape feels like exploring another planet, with acidic pools that bubble and steam, salt plains that stretch to the horizon in geometric patterns, and toxic gases that drift through the air. The combination of extreme heat, strange colors, and hostile environment makes this one of the most Mars-like places on Earth. Scientists actually study this region to understand how life might exist in extreme conditions elsewhere in the universe. Despite the danger, the surreal beauty of watching sunrise over these alien-colored formations makes it a bucket list destination for adventurous travelers who want to see Earth at its most extreme and otherworldly. The marble caves in Chile are nature's most beautiful secret, hidden on the shores of General Carrera Lake in Patagonia. Over 6,000 years, waves have carved smooth caverns into solid marble, creating swirling patterns and cathedral-like chambers in shades of blue, white, and gray. But the real magic comes from the lake itself, which contains glacial water so pure and blue that it reflects up into the marble caves, bathing everything in an ethereal turquoise glow. The color intensity changes with the water level and the season, meaning no two visits to these caves ever look exactly the same. You can kayak right into these formations, running your hands along walls that feel like polished silk and watching the light dance across surfaces that look more like abstract art than geology. The locals call them the Marble Cathedral, and when you float inside with sunlight streaming through the openings and turning everything shades of blue you've never seen before, you feel like you've discovered a sacred temple built by water and time rather than human hands. Off the coast of Yemen, the island of Socotra is so biologically unique that it's often called the most alien-looking place on Earth. About a third of the plant species here exist nowhere else on the planet, having evolved in isolation for millions of years. The most famous is the dragon's blood tree, which looks like a giant umbrella or a mushroom, with branches that spread out in a dense canopy and a thick trunk that bleeds red sap when cut. Hundreds of these bizarre trees dot the landscape like something from a fantasy movie. The island also has desert roses that look like elephant legs, cucumber trees with swollen trunks, and plants that seem designed by someone who had never seen Earth vegetation before. The combination of white sand beaches, bizarre plants, and rocky mountains creates landscapes that photographers struggle to make look real because they're so inherently strange. Walking through Socotra feels like you've been transported to what Earth might look like millions of years in the future, or to a parallel planet where evolution took a completely different path. In Mexico, the Cave of Crystals contains the largest natural crystals ever discovered, some reaching up to 39 feet long and weighing 55 tons. These giant selenite crystals grew over 500,000 years in a cave flooded with mineral-rich water kept at a perfect temperature by magma below. The crystals are so enormous and perfectly formed that they look more like computer-generated graphics than real objects you can touch. Sadly, visiting this cave is nearly impossible for most people because when it was discovered, water had to be pumped out, and the cave's natural temperature is around 58 degrees Celsius with 90 to 100% humidity. Without special cooling suits, a human can only survive inside for about 10 minutes before risking death from overheating. Scientists who have studied these crystals describe the experience as surreal and overwhelming, like being inside a giant geode or standing among the pillars of a crystal palace. The cave has since been reflooded to preserve the crystals, making it one of Earth's most spectacular places that almost no one will ever get to experience in person, which somehow makes it even more mysterious and unreal. The Pink Lakes of Australia, particularly Lake Hillier, present a mystery that still isn't fully understood. This bubblegum pink lake sits right next to the dark blue ocean, separated only by a thin strip of land, creating one of the most surreal color contrasts in nature. Unlike some pink lakes that change color seasonally, Lake Hillier maintains its bright pink hue year-round, even when you take the water out in a container. Scientists believe the color comes from a combination of algae, salt-loving bacteria, and specific chemical reactions, but the exact process remains debated. From the air, the lake looks like someone spilled bright pink paint in the middle of green forest and blue ocean. Australia has several pink lakes, each with slightly different shades ranging from bubblegum to salmon to pale rose. Some are safe to swim in while others are too salty, but all of them create photos that people refuse to believe are unedited. Standing on the shore looking at these impossible colors reminds you that Earth still has the power to completely surprise us and challenge our expectations of what nature should look like. The Wave in Arizona is a sandstone formation, so perfectly shaped it looks like a Photoshop creation or a digital art piece. Located on the border between Arizona and Utah, this area features rock formations with flowing, wave-like patterns in shades of orange, red, yellow, and pink that seem to ripple across the landscape. These patterns were created over millions of years as sand dunes compressed into stone, preserving the wind patterns from the age of dinosaurs. Only 20 people per day are allowed to visit through a strict permit lottery system, making it one of the hardest natural wonders to access. Those lucky enough to get permits find themselves walking through landscapes that seem to defy logic, where the ground flows like frozen water and every angle offers a new composition of curves and colors. The best time to visit is midday when the sun is directly overhead, eliminating shadows and making the colors even more vibrant and surreal. Photographers describe it as almost too beautiful, where every direction you point your camera creates an image that looks enhanced or impossible, yet it's all completely natural rock carved by wind and water. Finally, we arrive at the Tunnel of Love in Ukraine, a 3-kilometer stretch of railway track completely enclosed by trees and greenery that have grown into a perfect tunnel shape. What makes this place extraordinary is that the trees have naturally formed an almost perfectly symmetrical arch over the tracks, creating a fairy tale passageway that changes with the seasons. In spring and summer, it's a lush green tunnel that filters sunlight into a magical glow. In autumn, it transforms into shades of gold and orange. Even in winter, the bare branches create an intricate lacework overhead that's hauntingly beautiful. Legend says that if a couple walks through this tunnel together and their love is true, their wishes will come true. A train still runs through the section 3 times a day to deliver supplies to a nearby factory, and over the years, the regular passage of the train has somehow encouraged the vegetation to maintain this precise tunnel shape. Couples travel from around the world to walk hand in hand through this enchanted corridor, which looks more like something from a Studio Ghibli film than a random railway line in Eastern Europe. These 15 places prove that our planet is far more creative and surprising than any fantasy world we could imagine. From rainbow mountains to crystal caves, from bleeding glaciers to pink lakes, Earth continues to show us that reality can be more unreal than fiction. Which of these places shocked you the most? Have you been lucky enough to visit any of them? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more incredible content about the amazing world we live in. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring. The incredible thing about these locations is that they remind us of something truly important, something we often forget in our daily lives. We live on a planet that's constantly creating art, sculpting masterpieces, and painting with colors we didn't even know existed. Every single one of these places was formed through natural processes that took millions of years, and yet they still exist in our lifetime for us to witness and experience. That's not just remarkable, that's genuinely miraculous when you think about it. These formations are like nature's way of showing off, proving that creativity isn't exclusive to artists and designers. The Earth itself is the greatest artist, and these landscapes are its most stunning exhibitions. What's also fascinating is how many of these places were either unknown to most of the world until recently or were accidentally created. The Fly Geyser in Nevada wouldn't exist without human error, and yet it's become one of the most visually spectacular places on Earth. The door to hell was meant to be a temporary accident, but it transformed into a symbol of mystery and danger. Sometimes what we think of as failures or mistakes become the most beautiful discoveries. It's a reminder that we should stay curious about our world and keep exploring, because you never know what hidden wonder you might stumble upon around the next corner or down the next path. Adventure and discovery are still possible in our modern world, even when it feels like everything has already been explored and documented. The diversity of these landscapes is also something worth reflecting on. We have ice caves and salt flats, crystal caves and marble caverns, sulfur springs and lava lakes. We have forests creating tunnels and mountains forming in layers of color. It's almost impossible to believe they all exist on the same planet under the same sky. This diversity is what makes Earth so endlessly fascinating. No matter where you travel or what you've already seen, there's always another landscape waiting to blow your mind. The planet is like an infinite gallery with rooms you haven't entered yet, each one containing wonders that will challenge your perception of what's possible. These places also serve as natural laboratories for scientists trying to understand how life might exist in extreme conditions on other planets. The bacteria living beneath Antarctic ice, the thermophilic algae in Nevada's geysers, and the microorganisms in Ethiopia's Danakil Depression all teach us about the resilience and adaptability of life. These extreme Earth environments help us imagine what Martian life might look like, or how organisms could survive on Jupiter's moons. By studying these remarkable places, we're not just appreciating Earth's beauty, we're actively preparing for space exploration and expanding our understanding of biology itself. Every cave, every lake, every crater is a classroom teaching us something vital about the universe. If you've watched this entire countdown, hopefully you felt that same sense of wonder and awe that we experience when we learn about these places. Maybe you've added one or two to your bucket list. Maybe you're now desperately saving money for plane tickets and adventure permits. Or maybe you're sitting there thinking about places you've already visited and seeing them with new appreciation and understanding. Whatever your reaction is, that's perfectly valid because these landscapes deserve all the attention and admiration we can give them. They deserve to be protected and preserved for future generations who will have the same mind-blowing experience we've just shared. They deserve our respect and our curiosity and our commitment to understanding and protecting the natural world. The reality is that some of these places are threatened. Rising temperatures are affecting glaciers and ice formations. Development and tourism pressure are increasing in sensitive areas. Some locations face challenges from climate change or human activity. This is why it's more important than ever to appreciate these places, to learn about them, and to support conservation efforts. When we see how incredible and unique our planet truly is, it naturally motivates us to protect it. Education and awareness are the first steps toward conservation. By watching videos like this and sharing the information with friends and family, you're actually contributing to a global awareness movement that eventually leads to protection and preservation. That's the real power of content like this, the ability to inspire people to care about the world around them. The journey of exploring these 15 locations across 6 continents has hopefully given you a renewed sense of perspective about our home. Whether you live in a bustling city or a quiet countryside, you're living on the most visually diverse and creative planet in the universe. Yes, we haven't confirmed life anywhere else yet, but based on what we know about space and probability, the chances of another planet being this beautiful, this diverse, and this full of wonder are incredibly slim. We're actually the lucky ones. We get to exist on this masterpiece, this ever-changing work of art that's been developing for billions of years. That's something to appreciate deeply and cherish constantly. Thank you so much for spending this time with us exploring these surreal locations. Your support through views, likes, and comments means everything to our channel and helps us continue creating content about the amazing places on our incredible planet. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future explorations and discoveries. We have so many more extraordinary locations to show you, so many more secrets of Earth to uncover together. Turn on those notifications so you're always the first to know when we upload new videos. Share this with friends who love nature and travel because everyone deserves to experience this sense of wonder about our world. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and remember that the most incredible adventures might be closer than you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.